Today we will tell you about the film, where two professionals of their business shot in the most guarded prison in the world. Movie called Red Notice 2021. John, being an agent, arrives at the exhibition to prevent crime. Das immediately orders to unhook the building, complimenting that most wanted thief in the world. Nolan is about to steal Cleopatra's egg, main object of the exhibition. Checking data from the thermal imager, you can understand that the egg for some reason does not reflect heat. John immediately withdraws the soda to confirm that egg was already stolen. Hall immediately unhooks, and Nolan gives Daru passing change in clothes, merging with the crowd while John pushes the doors. The truth is coming out on Nolan pretty quickly again, which masterfully cuts the way. Remains to climb through the woods to the top floor, where was John already expecting him, and he orders to give the egg. True, they are distracted by Agent Das, transferring chase outside the building, with luck on Nolan's side. And he calmly goes down the pipe and escapes Bali with ease. 56 hours later, Nolan swims to his little house. But John was already here with the local special forces. Shocking Nolan once immediately withdraws the egg. By this time, Nolan has escaped from prison 6 times. But this time, the worst place was chosen for him. The truth before this is John notices Nolan is not interested in money. He wants to escape, proving to someone that he is better than others. A little later, someone replaces the egg. And even though John suspected something, he never manages to find the criminal. 32 hours later, we'll finally find missing. But there's also a slight flaw. What did John get a few $1 million the day he went missing? Eggs, of course. John is trying to convey what he's innocent, but will give a damn about it, and already prepared a special place. Russia Jonah is in the most dangerous prison in the world, from where it is simply impossible to escape, because the prison stands on the top of the mountain, and the only way to Spring Bridge. At the same time, none other than Nolan will live with him. But he understands perfectly that they were fooled by another most wanted rook thief. Also mentioning, why does everyone want eggs? One Egyptian billionaire is ready to give $3,000 million if the thief has time to bring all 3 eggs on his daughter's wedding day. True, no one in the world knows where the 3rd egg is hidden, but the 2nd is owned by the gun baron, party which takes place in complete anonymity. That's where his treasure is kept. When suddenly Nola to the whole dining room starts screaming that John is not a cop. Yes, he is from the FBI, but this is completely different. It notices one of the bugaies and gently hints what to him Krantz. John, though trying to translate this case into a peaceful channel, Bugay doesn't think so. Start a brawl, and while the convicts praise the boogie, cops drag the duet away. John immediately orders not to joke like that anymore, but they get distracted by the patrol because they expect Bo, with which is the rook, and in 48 hours she intends to steal the 2nd egg. Well, the 3rd will help find Nolan, who actually knows where it's hidden. Just didn't want to tell the wife, and now they think better. They expect the worst days of their lives. So the duet is transferred to Cathargo, where they decide to become a team. A new day is coming, but he already came up with an escape plan, consisting of 3 stages. First, you need to mix soap and pure glycerin with nitric acid, producing a huge explosion followed by a brawl. Well, step 2 was completed on the 1st day. That scene was only for that, to steal the key card. It remains to pull out the pebble and expose the window of freedom. You just need to walk along the abyss and hope that no one will slip up. Well, or John will ensure. Already being on the runway, security guard doesn't notice duet because he looks through photos of Putin. For Russian songs, John instantly starts shooting back, while Nolan cuts down the pilot and starts the helicopter. At the same time, the guard manages to point the RPG at John because he is a car, destroying the bridge. But Nolan doesn't want to lose a comrade. Opens fire from Minigan, suppressing the guard. This time is enough to John hopped on board, while the security guard is pointing at John again. But he just opens another door, releasing Rocket London. Rook captures information analyst to hack into his computer and send a message to Interpol that their friends escape, who already contacted Nolan's friend named Tam, and he has a brand new plane for them, including the gun baron's house plan. Of my strategies, you need to use a secret loophole to infiltrate the warehouse. As for security systems, it is obvious that every inch of the house is under surveillance, to armed guards at each door, which change at the change signal, which only lasts 45 seconds. There are 87 cameras throughout the house. without any blind spots. Vault doors are protected. Half-meter titanium door, biological lock, and this will help them, says Fate, and the password needs to be found on their victim Valencia's phone. Duet stays to party, and while John portrays a guest, Nolan is a waiter. He finds Ladio pretty quickly, which is amazed by his disguise, but their idea is interrupted by Baron, from which Jonah immediately steals the phone. Still they guessing that among them there is Agent Das, but the Baron begins to push the speech. Activate second step, but he pours wine on John, letting take him to the restroom through the guards, where you can cover yourself with a door and crack the cameras. Activating the 45-second timer, get in a shift and sneak into the Baron's room. Titanium doors instantly follow from some deep fake, exposing all the treasures. True, it is noticed by security, including the agent will give. He instantly knocks out the gun and locks the door, but by this time Rook had also infiltrated the vault. Starting a brawl and versus Wonder Woman, they didn't stand a chance. At the very end, they are visited by the Baron himself, because from the beginning he was on the side of the Rook. A new day is coming. Duet coming to your senses, already being related. Remains to find out where the third egg is hidden by special tests of John himself. But he doesn't want to see him tortured. Still admits where you can find the third egg. And to be more precise, in Egypt itself, remains to drink champagne. I cut down the Baron, and as soon as he comes to his senses, immediately opens fire. One of the bullets breaks the handcuffs, freeing Duet, but Ankitha from the basement leads them straight to the arena with the bull, and they both give to Daru, saving your lives. A little later, John confesses that his dad was the best thief, but in one of the days missing, throwing 7 showing what they pretty similar, and only together they can win. Hearing all this, Nolan still tells, what after the Second World, German officer went to Argentina, grabbing a small suitcase. The next 70 years, enthusiasts tried to find Hitler's secret bunker somewhere in South America, including his father, who in one of the days bought a watch of the same German, inside which the coordinates were hidden. A few days later, they still managed to find a secret passage, and surprisingly the light still works, booked by door. A whole warehouse was expecting them, where and hid the third egg. The truth is they are distracted by the Rook, who didn't buy into his story, when suddenly their meeting joins and the agent will give. Together with special forces opening fire, all that remains, jump into an armored car and pierce the hidden passage, and suspecting that at the very end they were waiting for a clip. Nolan pretty quickly gets ashore along with the egg, but doesn't notice John and leaves the dream of his life to save a friend, who exactly also got ashore and kissed Ladio, because they were always together. Cairo is an Egyptian billionaire, finally gets treasure, while the party breaks in, will give and seizes the treasure. Sardinia 6 months later, Nola finally finds a couple, who he already stole all their money from, and for them he has a job, but already for 3 people. This is where the movie ends.